HRT broadcasting station, Zagreb, Croatia. One of Croatia's most respected journalists is back from a long day of reporting. He's busy editing the final clip.
I'm Goranmilici, I'm 63. I was working for the Croatian National Television since 1996. Before I was in Bosnia and Serbia, and total I have 39 years of television journalism.
Goranmilici travels around the globe to give viewers a glimpse into the world's unique cultures. Next up on his list, Korea.
I understand that Korea is one of the most advanced countries in Asia, and the second reason is you have excellent shipyards. So I wanted to show to my public how Koreans can work, produce, and have even higher salaries than Croatians.
These are some of the reasons why Korea appeals to Goran and his viewers in Croatia. Let's find out more. Goran and his crew have arrived in Korea for 10 days of filming on May 9, 2009. It's a second visit to Korea since 1986. He is eager to find out how much Korea has changed.
Robert, you there. The flight was long. What can we do? We can make it shorter. And second time in Korea in my life. Now I'll see the changes.
The first venue to be filmed is a Hyundai Heavy Industries shipyard. In what was a barren landscape, Hyundai constructed a shipyard. It has been a leading Korean corporation ever since. As soon as they arrive, Goran and his team notice the employees. Employees on bikes and motorcycles pour endlessly in. And Goran and his team remain riveted.
This view, this sight that 40,000 people are entering the big gate and that they are on time. They come early. You don't get late with motorbicycles, with bicycles, walking. Everybody is there.
What is daily routine for Koreans makes for quite a scene for Goran and his team. The employees step into their workplace with renewed determination and resolve. It's an uncommon sight in Croatia.
I vjerojatno kad bi našli samo jednoga koji ovako besposleno šeće kao ja i traži partnera za kavu, postali bi ga liječnikom, najvjerojatnije psihijatru. Poštuju li pješački prijelaz? Poštuju.
Koreans work hard and are dedicated to improving at what they do. Goran learned just how devoted Koreans can be to their profession.
Pitao sam što je ovo. Ovo su stolci za odmaranje. I ja sam sjeo i vidio da je to sve od prašine. I ovdje... I ovdje... Što znači da tjednima, možda i mjesecima ovdje nitko nije sjeo. Jel ima ovdje uopće odmora?
Goran went to talk to the labor union leader to learn more about what motivates the employees to display such dedication and drive.
Did they get something if the year was good?
To find out the satisfaction level of Hyundai Heavy Industries employees, they asked a straightforward question. How much do they make?
In certain departments you work 40 hours, in other you work 48 hours. Why I'm interested in worker salary? Because, I mean, if they work for $50 a month, then they're very much exploited. If they work for $3,000 a month, then they must be very happy. And then you know in which country you live. Because probably 35 years ago, they worked for $50. And now I'm interested how much they're making today. And it's probably 20, 30 times more. Okay, we start with the salary. So how much is the salary of one worker that has worked in Hyundai for 10 years, just a qualified worker, not an engineer?
이렇게 두 달에 한 번씩 받는 보너스랑 그다음 연말에 받는 성과금까지 다 포함해서 평균으로 했을 때 월 500만 원으로 계산하면 됩니다.
Is it true that your salary is 50 million every year?
예, 제가 작년에 1년 연봉을 약 5,400 정도 받았습니다.
Is it possible to imagine that somebody working for Hyundai changes, switches, and goes to work for Samsung?
예, 만약 저한테 그런 질문을 주어진다 그러면 저는 가지 않을 것입니다. 왜냐하면 여기에 임금 부분이나 복지 부분이나 여러 것이 제가 만족을 하기 때문에 그 이상 더 많은 것을 준다 그러면은 생각을 해볼지 모르겠지만 지금 당장은 절대 갈 의사가 없습니다. 그런 저 아닌 다른 분들도 아마 그렇게 생각하고 있을 것입니다.
The employees are satisfied with their workplace, which is an intricate part of Korea's world-class shipbuilding industry. What kind of message does Goran want to give viewers in Croatia through this coverage?
I want to send the message back to my country that if you give workers good salaries and if you are well organized, our shipyards can be competitive because we were almost the world leader 35 years ago. We produced 3 times more ships than Korea. Today, Korea is producing 25 times more ships than Croatia.
Croatia, a land facing the Adriatic Sea. Before gaining independence from Yugoslavia, practically everyone in Croatia worked in shipbuilding companies. Rijeka, Croatia's biggest port city. In contrast to its golden era, no ships are constructed nor assembled in the city today.
Croatia was part of Yugoslavia, it was a bigger country, but all the shipyards were in Croatia. And today, in 30, 35 years, you see a complete change. And for us, if we produce one boat, one ship, it's news for the evening news. We put it on the program.
Almost half the shipyards are out of business. Since the country gained independence, capitalism has brought many changes. But the old socialist systems of shipyards led to their downfall.
The state-owned company still live with this socialist idea. So we have a principle. Nobody can pay me so little, the little I can work. So you pay me a little money, I don't work at all. But I cannot get fired, because if I'm a state company, it takes forever to fire a lazy person, a drunk person. You can actually never fire that person. So many people try to enter the state companies.
Goran and his crew trace back to the very beginning of Hyundai Heavy Industries and witness how the company became what it is today. Again, they were in awe of the dedication and drive of Koreans.
Hyundai Heavy Industries has led the economic...
A once near barren plot of land has now become home to Korea's biggest shipyard. In stark contrast, Croatia, which has the world's 5th biggest shipyard, failed to fully utilize it.
Today, Korea produces 20 times more than Croatia, and we congratulate, and we are very happy because we saw in this movie that the achievements are great, really, and, well, deserved.
The success of Hyundai Heavy Industries reflects Korea's dramatic economic development. After 1983, Korea continued to maintain its position as the leading shipbuilder in the world. Today, Korea makes up about 15% of the world's shipbuilding market share. Goran and his crew are most curious about one issue, one that's bound to arise in any capitalist society. How does the company maintain good relations with the labor union?
You represent the management. Do you have problems with unions? Do they go on strike?
상당히 협조적인 노사관계를 유지하고 있고 특히 금년에는 노동조합에서 세계 경제가 어려운 점을 감안해가지고 임금 협상안을 회사에 일임하는 첫 조치를 취했습니다. 이것은 저희 회사가 설립된 이래로 처음이 되겠습니다.
Our success is the Korean success. The Korean success is our success. Is it the same thing? Union success is management success, and management success is union, worker success.
그 말에 100%는 동의하지 않는다 하더라도 거의 100%에 가깝게 동의합니다.
Through a win-win strategy, Hyundai Heavy Industries maintains great union-company relations. Goran hopes to find the future of Croatia's shipbuilding industry in Korea's past.
We are the fourth in the world. It's Korea, Japan, and China. And then comes Croatia, but with 0.4% of product tons per ship. So it's nothing, you see, compared to what we had. So now we have a debate in our country to close the shipyards, to sell them for nothing, or to reorganize the shipyards and make them better. So this is an experience from Korea, which is the world leader, how things could be done.
From socialism to capitalism, Croatia experienced dramatic changes. On Labor Day, Croatia's workers voiced their frustrations about the country's economy.
We are here to celebrate International May Day, International Labor Day, and we are protesting. We want to warn our government that we want more jobs here in Croatia and better salaries, such salaries that workers can live without their families' food in Croatia.
Their frustrations only grow as they feel the impact of the global financial turmoil through low wages and a shortage of job openings.
We also have a problem with the Croatian economy. We don't have enough working posts, so we have rather high number of unemployed people in country. And still the costs of living in Croatia are too high and the price of labor is too low.
The beautiful Adriatic Sea plays a central role in Croatia's growing tourism industry. Tourism accounts for about 18% of Croatia's GDP. Tourism-related items comprise about 36.7% of the country's exports. But the civil war that followed Croatia's independence triggered significant social and economic losses. The tourism industry was hit hard as well. Only time can undo the damage.
Big damage has been done to the industry, to the production, because they stopped working for 7-9 years. And then, okay, the world goes on. You lose your jobs, you lose your contracts, you lose your friends abroad. So we were great exporters. We were constructing in Arab countries, we were constructing in different countries in the world, in Malaysia, for instance, and other countries. And we lost all these jobs. So that effect was even worse than the destruction itself.
With the coming of capitalism, Croatians anticipated a lot of changes. but it's difficult to find signs of economic prosperity in Croatia. That is why some Croatians long to return to the socialism system of the past.
Razlika je sad ima si siguran posao, ja sam radila 35 godina, meni je bilo krasno, a sad je neizvjesno. Danas radiš, sutra ne radiš.
People would like to work more, but the limitations of the capitalism in Croatia at this moment is that only few are well paid if they work more. Others that work more will not be paid because they work more. So many people are disappointed in capitalism. What we wanted from capitalism was only higher salaries, but not the capitalist system.
Odusan Unification Observatory. What the Croatian team finds remarkable is that Korea managed to mark amazing economic growth while in a state of armistice as a divided peninsula. The Korean War that broke out in 1950 left an indelible scar in many Koreans. The North Korean regime ensures that its people are completely shut out from the outside world.
Ako nema cipela, ako nema dizajnerske odjeće, u komunizmu nekako uvijek ima alkohola. Sve kad čovjek pogleda koliko ovih boca žestica proizvodi Sjeverna Koreja, onda je tu nešto u raskoraku između morala koji kaže nemojte piti, budite vrijedni radnici, izgrađujte socijalizam, i ovoga što se ovdje nudi. The products that I see here made in North Korea are the products that were produced in Yugoslavia, which Croatia was part, 50 years ago. So in 1955, we had shoes like that, we had cigarettes like that, and those terrible bottles with no brands, with no labels.
North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, and its southern counterpart, which has grown into a global economic power. The team decided to highlight the contrasting state of the two Koreas.
Well, as we cannot enter North Korea, as probably I would need 50 years before to get the permission to go there and have an interview of 5 minutes. So the only thing I can do is to stay close to the border, say this is North Korea over there, it's a closed country.
To discover how isolated North Koreans are from the outside world and to discern the extent to which lives are monitored and controlled, Goran posed some direct questions to the North Korean defectors.
So how is doing the young generation in North Korea? Do they know about rock and roll, about house dance, and all these new things?
북한에서 근데 댄스랑 춤이랑 추고 막 그런 데 놀러 다니면은 그런 걸 허락을 잘 안 해요. 그래서
When you were living in North Korea, did you know about the Beatles?
못 들어봤어요. 이름도 못 들어봤어요.
John Lennon, Brad Pitt,
못 들어봤어요.
rock and roll, Marilyn Monroe, Stalin.
스탈린 들어봤어요.
So tell me some famous North Koreans.
레닌, 스탈린, 모택동.
Is there a big show?
Like a parade.
That's right. There is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now ask him. During this show, is it possible to find any person, one person, who will say, "This is shit"?
그 북한 사회가 제일 무서운 게 이 상호 감시 체계라는 게 그게 유지되기 때문에 무섭거든요. 그러니까 그런 불만이 있음에도 불구하고 사람들이 아직 공공연하게 어떤 장소에서 이렇게 말을 못해요. 왜냐하면은 그 어떤 북한이 연좌제라는 게 엄청 강해요. 그 사람 혼자 한 사람한테 어떤 이 탄압이라든가 어떤 그런 처벌이 가지면 괜찮은데 그 가족이라든가 친척 모든 그 사람하고 연결된 사람 모든 사람들이 탄압받을 수 있기 때문에 감히 얘기를 못해요.
Goran grew up in a socialist country. Still, he was shocked by the degree to which North Koreans live in isolation.
I know how communism works. Only in Yugoslavia it was much more liberal. We could travel, we could go abroad, we could buy things, so we knew everything what was happening. They might be educated, but the problem is that their education is absolutely isolated, so they cannot compare their knowledge with the world.
This is his second visit to Korea since 1986. Korea has progressed drastically since. In the past, Korea's economic growth was fueled by the shipbuilding industry. Today, Korea's economic growth engine is digital technology. To experience Korea's economic development, the team visited the Samsung Delight Promotion Hall. Advanced digital technology, as well as the latest in digital trends, are here. Goran and his team were amazed by Korea's unparalleled technological superiority.
So let's say I imagine beauty. What is that?
Actually, at the mobile plaza with the capture wall, you can pick up the words what you like with your images. For example, if you take a picture with the small Samsung camera, then your picture will be retouched by like pop art, like Andy Warhol's art, and then it will be shown on the LFD monitors. And then you have to pick up the words what you like. Happiness, love, whatever you can.
Nobody is imagining food or drinks.
Sometimes people pick up the food, drinks, like that, yeah.
You could see in the streets of Zagreb big shops with Korean names, like Samsung, like other products. Say that 20-25% of TV sets sold in Croatia are Korean, etc., and mobile phones.
The digital products of global Korean conglomerates like LG and Samsung are in high demand in Croatia today. The mobile phones of these companies are explosively popular among Croatia's youths.
Well, I think they are pretty good. They are very, they have everything I need in the cell phone, from GPS, wireless, and camera. And I like it very much. Design, I think about it to change my cell phone for Samsung.
Zato što je Samsung od dizajna, kvalitete i svega da su ljudi to prepoznali. Dizajn, kvalitetu, jer Samsung je apsolutno, mislim, po svemu pokazao da je to šta se traži na tržištu.
Various Korean products are gaining popularity in Croatia. This is resulting in a significant growth in trade between the two nations.
특히 우리의 중유럽에 대한 투자가 증가하고 있는 이 마당에 크로아티아는 그 지리적 중요성으로 인해서 우리에게 중요하다고 볼 수 있습니다. 현재 조선 분야, 항만 분야, 에너지 분야에 대한 우리나라의 진출 내지 투자가 이루어질 것으로 지금 보고 있으며 앞으로도 중소기업 분야에서도 많은 투자가 이루어질 것으로 예상됩니다.
Esports is one way to discover the advanced state of a country's digital industry. This was all too new to Goran and his team. Unfamiliar electronic games are played online between professional gamers. The fans watch and fervently cheer on their favorite gamers 4 teams.
Okay, so could you explain us how the system works?
The match is individual, so the 2 players enter to that booth, and then they will have the match. So and this is the stage for the teams. So other players just wait for their colleagues.
It's like video games or different?
No, it's different. It's a RTS, just a real-time simulation. So it's actually quite different from.
Okay, he's already a legend.
They start with the obvious question.
In Korea?
Yeah.
Number 1. What is your education? What do you do otherwise?
하다 보니까 게임에 소질이 있는 것 같아가지고 재미있어서 그렇게 시작하게 되었어요.
Pro gamers are gaining respect and love in Korea.
What's his name?
이름이 뭐예요? 이영호.
영호이.
It's Young.
Is he popular with girls?
여기서 유명한가요? 네. 베리.
The tremendous popularity of esports could clearly be felt in Korea. The team continued to quench its curiosity through interviews.
Do they play that also for money or just for prestige?
Both of them, I think. Yeah. So the main reason they play the game is that that's what they really want to do. So they just give up the studying or what they have to do, and they just play the game as a work.
The new generation of Koreans fueling the next level in Korea's remarkable economic progress clearly bore little resemblance to the old generation. They enjoyed their work, they had fun doing what they do.
Well, it's the first time in my life that I've seen such a big competition, and I understand that you have the whole system of esports in Korea. I'm certainly going to advise my people back in Croatia to try with something like that, because I see young people are very enthusiastic and they are overwhelmed with this, and they have their fans and supporters.
Since 1986, much has changed in Korea, but some things remain the same.
Well, it has changed a lot. Sometimes you have only the statistics, but here I could see that in these 23 years, the whole way of life has changed. Seoul, the capital city, when I was here for a week, I could recognize the city. The city didn't change so much, especially during lunchtime between 12 and 1. All the business people with ties, they're out, they have 1 hour lunch break, and they use it to talk, to have a sandwich, to sit in the restaurant. That's what remained the same, yes.
You do?
Year 2009. What's on the minds of Koreans? Goran attempted to interview people off the streets. But it wasn't easy for a foreigner to find willing interviewees.
We are working for Croatian television, European television. What are you covering? Everything about Korea.
Oh, what's Korea? Okay.
Industry, life. Only not politics. Politics.
Goran and his team continued to experience present-day Korea at a restaurant. Bulgogi, which has gained international recognition, and the numerous side dishes provided Goran and his team with a great gastronomic experience. As they say, when in Rome, do as Romans do. So they used chopsticks. But for many team members, this proved to be quite a challenge. Let's see how well Goran fares.
That's a typical South European approach. when something doesn't work, somebody else is guilty.
What is the secret behind the motivation and drive of Koreans? To search for answers, Goran and his team visited a university in Seoul. What exactly did Goran expect to find here?
To interview the professor about the economic situation in Korea and the principles on which Korean economy is built. Thus, the philosophy of Confucius has something to do with work ethics.
The sincerity of Korean workers is evident in their workplaces. In the ancient teachings of Korea, the answer could be found.
Professor, in this country, I saw many companies having a slogan: the success of our company is the success of Korea, and the success of Korea is our success. Is that the philosophy, or the philosophy is the success is when I make money myself?
It's a little bit tricky question, but I would say that a lot of people will share with that kind of slogan, and people have been used to or accustomed to such slogans in the past 30 to 40 years. Korea has been cited as an example of rapid growth. So people have a very good experience, with the companies and national economic growth and development. So the success of the company and the success of Korea is the success of myself. It would be a very natural, sequence, and not many people would feel strange or uncomfortable with that kind of slogan.
What is the mindset of students who will lead Korea's future?
Good English. And how do you speak English?
I studied in Korea.
In?
Korea.
In Korea. Do you have any idea where Croatia is?
I've heard about Croatia before, but I don't know exactly about.
Have you heard of Bosnia?
I'm sorry. It is
Uh,
nearby Yugoslavia.
And what was Yugoslavia? Oh, no, Professor. Myanmar, you know Myanmar?
Yes.
What's the capital of Myanmar? Okay. Of Sri Lanka?
I don't know.
So, okay. Who is the chairman of Samsung?
Egon He.
So, true that, because when I was a student, we knew the names of all African presidents, all 50 African presidents we knew, Kenneth Kaunda, Leopold Songo, all those guys. And we never knew who is the president of General Motors, because that was that socialistic approach. Now I'm interested to know how it works in Korea. What are the priorities for students?
Goran conducts a survey. What kind of questions does he have in store for the students?
One by one, you put me 3 world personalities that you respect. Can be politician, can be a Nobel Prize, can be scientist, can be anybody. So 3 people that you respect. So you just write this 3 and pass around.
Some of the questions for the survey include celebrities or historic figures that they respect, the country they'd like to live in, and the currency they prefer. The students carefully think and jot down their reply. Goran spots some unfamiliar names in the answers.
Is that Warren Beatty? Huh?
Warren Buffett. Who's that?
Rich man. It's USA. Stock. Yeah, USA. Stock.
Well, in stock market you don't make money. No. The magnet of stock market. I mean, who is the magnet of stock market?
The rich man.
Huh?
Still is a rich man.
The richest person?
To a Croatian who recently joined the capitalist world, the names at the tip of the Korean students' tongues were very new.
Tri svjetske ličnosti koje poštujete nisu razumjeli, dali su po jednu. George Soros, Martin Luther King, predsjednik uprave Microsofta, ne znam kako se zove, Bill Gates i ovaj Warren Buffett, filantrope. Tri najbolje zemlje na svijetu, svi kažu Koreja osim jednoga, Španjolska, Engleska, Austrija, Novi Zeland, Japan, Kina, ovo je neka lijeva struja, Kanada, Švicarska, Koreja, Švicarska. Dakle, nijedna Amerika, nijedne Sjedinjene države nema ovim odgovorima, ali kad pitate koja je najbolja valuta, dolar, američki dolar, kažu svi.
What was Goran's reaction after reading the students' answers?
That they would know the word only those that have traveled. And if you travel in the United States, it doesn't mean that you learn what the world is like. So this would be a handicap, but economically it didn't harm Korea, definitely. Maybe it's better, because if you manage to know well the world, you'll take all the scenes from that world and it will not work for you.
Croatia is in a transition phase between socialism and capitalism. In Croatian universities, protesters refuse to conduct or attend lessons to speak up for equal rights to education.
Because in Croatia, all the citizens pay their taxes, and this is a form of double taxing. Because we put our money into the educational funds, and they don't give back to the people who should benefit from that funds. So that is why we have this blockade, because we think that all the young people should have equal rights to educate themselves to benefit our society.
Some of what is obviously the norm in a capitalist society incites confusion and conflict for those of differing values and social classes.
Many people are not used to that. They're not used to that. They were taught that to be too ambitious, it's not well. That was the doctrine of communism. In North Korea, only Kim Jong-il can be ambitious. All the others have to be shut down. So you don't show your ambition, because if you show ambition, it's not good. That's the problem.
What fuels Koreans to be who they are? Goran and his team visit a Chonga house where Korean traditions are well preserved and practiced. Some say you are what you eat, and this is no different in Korea. But here a simple meal consists of over 30 side dishes. Goran and his team were both delighted and overwhelmed by the feast.
It's amazing for us Europeans that you eat fish for breakfast, that you eat chili sauce for breakfast. It's very unusual, because we always have some milk or eggs for breakfast, and then for lunch and dinner we have these heavy meals. And here the heavy meal is in the beginning. It reminds me of my country. In traditional houses, if they have to work in the fields, the breakfast is always stronger than the dinner. The breakfast is the concentration of calorie, energy, and strong food.
To je sada u ovim velikim posudama vani. To se tu marinira i Jo, sušena riba. Mljevene ljute paprike, užas. To stoji vani i to je to izobilje korejsko, 30 vrsta jela, a u biti, kad pogledate, sve to ima sličan okus.
The sincerity and diligence of Koreans. Goran believed that the root of these values is Confucianism.
Tradition, Confucian tradition. How does it apply in practice, in the family?
Well, it's all about respecting the elders. So it applies to everyone in the society, whether you're in the family or working at a company or in school. You have to always be aware of someone else's age. For example, if I give you this book, I don't do it like this. It's not polite. It's for someone who is younger than I am or my friend who is of same age. But because you're much older than I am, I'll give you like this. So.
With two hands.
Koreans are grateful to have work to do. Goran feels that Croatians can benefit from adopting such an attitude.
Između tog vanjskog stila, kombinacije ljepote s prirodom.
You think that work is ethical, that work is something very welcome, that God is rewarding you with work. While we think that, because of these historical differences, we think that work is imposed, and that when we work, there is always someone taking advantage of our work.
This is the Noryangjin fish market. Compared with the fish market in Croatia, the size and scale are unbelievable. The team wants to capture every detail of this unique and special place.
How do you form the prices of the fish? Could you explain?
새벽에 현지에서 올라오는 거 경매로 해갖고 그날 시세가 다 바뀌는 거예요. 공동가격.
Can he give me a discount?
저렴한 가격에 예. 흥정만 잘하면 깎아도 드려요. 가격.
In these times of economic crisis, all countries are down and pessimistic. But I see that you are optimistic. And you are always like that. You always smile, no signs of depression. Maybe when people walk, they look a little bit nervous, but psychologically, I don't feel that there is a trace of depression in this country.
Koreans are positive people. They don't give up easily and tenaciously get the job done. Their positive energy can clearly be felt here. Goran and his team had a great time filming the lively sights and sounds of Korea's fish market.
Seulu najveća ulaz. Krenemo od ovih knjiga, robotnica, sipa, koje su žive. Friško svega, prema školjkama, pa ćemo vidjeti čega sve tu ima.
How does Goran feel after getting to know Korea's fish market?
Of course, this one is much bigger. I mean, Seoul has 3 times more inhabitants than the whole of Croatia. So we have, I don't know, maybe 200 fish markets in Croatia, in every small town, in every city, but they are 100 times smaller.
When push comes to shove, Koreans keep going and do not stop to think about giving up. This attitude is evident in the faces of the merchants here. And these game faces are what Goran loves to capture on film.
I kao i obično, kao što smo viđali po Ekvadoru, u Čileu, tamo gdje je prepuno ribe, Tamo jednu rižu i neke druge stvari. Još im smeta što ih snimamo. Dobro, razumijem ljudi.
This is a kind of show which should be unpredictable. It's not my duty to say, okay, Seoul has 10 million inhabitants, this is this street, this is the main street, this is the parliament. Okay, we'll say 3 or 5 things, but not 20. Just the main point. But then, what's unpredictable? What is in Seoul that you face, that you meet, that you, people that you find, that are interesting for my viewers?
Goran was eager to introduce this place to viewers back home, a traditional Korean medicine clinic. The interior decor and advanced medical facilities of the hospital captivated Goran and his team.
Konačno bolnica kako spada za bolesne. Standard rodne kuće i vrhunskog hotela, a ne kao negdje radničko odmaralište.
This is Goran's first time at a traditional Korean medicine clinic. The team decides to experience it firsthand.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Various diagnoses are made the traditional and modern way. The process helps check body types in accordance with Sasang constitutional medicine. Goran is fascinated by what traditional Korean medicine has to offer.
Beef is good?
Yeah. I'm also interested in this traditional Korean medicine because the West is watching the body as a machine, and Asia was always observing the organisms in balance. So I might discover some approach which will be very interesting for the public, because public, every time that you speak about medicine, about different approaches, people are desperate, they try a cure, and so they might find some idea to help themselves.
The doctor has something to show Goran.
The material is stainless steel. Is not broken. 끝났습니까 이제?
After checking out the sharp acupuncture needles with his own eyes, fear takes over Goran.
이불이 안 돼.
Pa jebi ga, možda će... Pa znam, ali stari mi se oprosti, evo to je taj princip kao sve po mome, znaš, u stvari nema ništa što nije po njegovom.
Robert, the cameraman, reluctantly volunteers to experience this seemingly painful treatment. He is clearly fearful of what sensations the unfamiliar experience may deliver. Robert discovers how his body temperature changed following acupuncture and moxibustion treatments. The result was amazing.
I feel very well. It's not. It's okay. It's simply. It's one treatment very good.
For you, probably Korean medicine is not interesting at all. For us, it was extremely interesting. And then we found a doctor, we met a doctor. He had invented himself, he has that approach that human beings are divided into different types. I'm the T type, let's say, and affected by different illnesses. And the cure is also different. So let's say I shouldn't eat chicken, I should eat beef. And that's something that among my public will immediately cause a reaction. So they will phone and they will say, hey, could I know what type am I? Do you have the list of the other 3 types? And so on and so on.
While covering diverse aspects of Korea, what did he feel was most necessary to help improve exchange between Korea and Croatia?
I don't know, I think maybe a cooperation could come through the shipyards, through shipbuilding. We have 9 shipyards on the Adriatic Sea. I don't know, maybe will come a time, now your workers are more expensive than Croatian workers. The skills are about the same. The working discipline is in favor of Koreans. But if you give more money, if you give higher salaries, you can organize the working discipline.
This is just the beginning for the future of Korea-Croatia relations. Through engaging in cultural exchanges that help the nations better understand each other, Korea and Croatia are sure to grow closer.
Kao što znate, bili smo u Rusiji, Južnoj Americi, Kuvajtu, Australiji, Turskoj, Bosni i Hercegovini, sada u Južnoj Koreji. Obišli smo što morem, što kopnom, što zrakom, 3 put zemaljsku kuglu. Sad kad razmišljamo o Koreji, lijepa zemlja, dobri ljudi, ali komplicirani kad se treba dogovoriti oko najmanje pojedinosti. I nagrađivanje prema radu, Hrvatska bi odmah osjetila boljitak. Što se tiče ovog dogovaranja, nažalost, tu smo za njih mi nedostižni. Time vas pozdravljam, poštovani gledatelji iz Seula, na kraju sezone. Hvala vam što ste nas gledali, naše 32 emisije i vidjet ćemo na jesen što ćemo dalje. Doviđenja.